Hello there, my fabulous Friday friends. Welcome back. Another week under our belt. We're doing pretty well. A little soggy out there, but it is spring and it's warming up, and that is something that I am very grateful for. I am a July baby. I'm not a big fan of the colder weather or the precipitation that comes with the colder weather in this northern hemisphere. So I thought what I would address today is the topic of appreciation. So it's something that I know to be so incredibly important in our lives, but not always the easiest to get to. Hey, Terry. It takes a little bit of work sometimes to be in a place of appreciation for your life. And sometimes, honestly, I think it takes that good old-fashioned soap opera slap, because so many people have become accustomed to or in a habit of whining and complaining and, quite frankly, bitching and moaning and thinking that that's going to get them anywhere in life. It's only going to have you dig deeper into your junk and get caught in your story. So I was working with someone this week and his dad came through. And the gentleman wanted, and I can appreciate this, but he wanted specific information and dates and nicknames and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. I am an emotional medium. I am someone that can talk about relationship and yes, give you some characteristics of the person, but that whole specific thing, go to someone else because that's not where I am. And I said to him, he has a good sense of humor, and I was poking him a little bit and said, if you just want to test this process, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because that's not what I'm here for. And it came around to where I said, can we appreciate the fact that we have this loved one in your life who lowered his vibration in order to show up to say, man, I'm really proud of you. And I see some of the stuff going on in your life, but it really is about those moments. He talked about some of the events that had gone on in his life recently, but they weren't these big monumental. It would be like someone observing that, I don't know, that I tried Iolata for the first time. Oh my goodness, was that good? Frozen yogurt in the area, in case anybody is from out of the area and doesn't know. So I tried it for the first time the other night, treated myself. That was my dinner. And so it would be like someone coming through and acknowledging that I did that. So an event like that, right? And this is what I said to him, we could learn a lot from those who have crossed because they are living in a true space of appreciation for all the messages that they've received, all of the experiences, all of the people who came into their lives. It doesn't mean you have to like all of it, but when that appreciation is there, it takes that whining down a level, because if you are taking inventory of your life and you're complaining more than you're appreciating, well, then you need to shift it. You need to do something in order to arrive in a space where you can see the beauty that we have around us. And I'm not a Pollyanna. I'm not oblivious to the workings of the world. But I also feel like if I'm responsible for who I am here, then it's part of my soul job to express that appreciation will get you a heck of a lot further than any miserableness. And so we actually arrived in a space where he could see that bogging himself down with all of this other need of proof was getting in the way of him communicating with his loved ones, because that would be my goal. I would love for you to be receiving and connecting to those who you loved in this lifetime and not needing to see a medium. To be clear, I allow it to come through when there's healing, but contact Pam Ellis if you're really looking for that individual medium reading. So along the lines of appreciation, if we could borrow from those who have crossed and start to see just how amazing our world is, and what if you think about all the little details and moments and meetings and all of that had to happen in order for you to be in this time and place, then you add a bit of wonderment to that layer of appreciation, and it can help you to navigate through those moments where things aren't as fun, or are a little bit more miserable in the moment. Like, don't sit in it. So part of the message that I want to convey is, if you can, and I know you can because you have the ability, start to notice the things that make you laugh, that light you up. So, for instance, a lot of people get all about social media and stuff, but you know what? I love it, because in this time and schedule and all of that, I would not have the connection that I have with my nieces and nephews and some of my siblings if we didn't have social media. It's part of the family dynamic in that we're just bad communicators, it seems, but I am so grateful and appreciative for those who want to be part of my page or listen to my message or pick on me a little bit. I actually like that because it means you care. And that, so the life you have and the appreciation you have for life starts to reflect the physical life you have will start to reflect when you hold that place of gratitude and appreciation. I think somebody should develop, you know how they always say there's an app for that? Well, appreciation starts with APP. So maybe there is already one out there. I didn't research it because it's just occurring to me that that's kind of funny. So let's create an app within ourselves. Let's pretend that we are the operating system, because we are, and that we can install our own app and use that in a way that contributes to the world that we're in, and then can, jack up this energy a little bit more. Hey, John, thanks for joining us. And Lynn and Mary and Brenda, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So when you look at your life and you look at all of those somewhat synchronistic moments that had to happen, there was some movement in this universe that created that, and you contribute to that. So if you want to increase the vibration, the frequency, like we've talked about in the past, of the people that you are connecting with, then or bringing into your life, start looking at the people who are in your life that you can be appreciative of. Now, you've heard me say before that when somebody is going through a separation or somebody passes, even if you lose a job, because I don't think we ever lose a job we really want, I'll usually say congratulations, or, that's amazing, or good for you, something along those lines. Well, the place of appreciation can be, if you're in one of those situations, eventually, I'm not saying right away, that would take quite a bit of evolution, and I don't even know if I'm there yet, but if you can have an appreciation for the courage it must have taken that other person to say, this is not working for us. And that can be a business contract too, right? And if you step back into that, get out of your own poor me syndrome, and you think about it and think how difficult conversations are sometimes to have anyway, and you put yourself in the other person's place, you can really appreciate how much oomph it took to speak the truth, or at least their truth, because we all have our own perspective and version of that. There's a gift that you give yourself in being willing to look at what does work in your life. And I mean, my gig, my love is helping people to figure out how to create that life that they love so much. And often I ask them, what is working? Because we have to shift that compass that's in your own GPS system to be pointing in that direction if you want to have more. Why would, in the reciprocation of energy, why would anybody want to return something to someone else that they weren't receiving in the first place? So appreciation for self needs to be present here. So recognizing when you've done something well, or when something was scary, but you walked through it anyway. When you just knew that you couldn't stay on at a job because it wasn't in your highest interest, and you took the steps to release yourself from that position, and you do it in a place of integrity and authenticity. I don't think people understand how good it feels to be in the space of wonder of this universe and how everything happens. And we don't always have to understand all the moving parts, but if you step back and think about, what the heck, how did that person even come up with that idea? It's just amazing. And when you get into that energy, it makes being human as close as we can get to being non-physical, where there's no ego conflict. And the appreciation for self is also what leads to being able to speak up for oneself and to be able to say what matters. And you look at all the kids marching, and they're speaking up because it's not only that their life matters, the cause matters to them. The idea that you wouldn't speak up for something that means a lot to you is so foreign to them that it's such a breath of fresh air for me, with all these fabulous teenagers and young 20s and all that out there. So you may not like something that somebody else does, or in all likelihood you probably won't. There's going to be something that you disagree on. But if we could appreciate where someone is coming from, the communication can happen, the language can be expanded, and we can work on theories, and then we can go to conception, and then you can see the manifestation of it. But if you can't be an appreciation of the sheer wonder that the universe knows how to, or the earth knows how to keep spinning and have us in its gravitational pull, then boy, are you missing a gift of being alive. And to that point, the ability to draw breath, whether that's a nice deep breath in meditation, whether that's breath as we repattern or do EMDR, whether it's a breath as you're trying to climb the hills of the Berkshires, and when you're out on your run or your walk, the breath that you wait when you first wake up and you realize there is air traveling through my body. There should be a moment of appreciation before your feet hit that ground. That moment right there will set your day up for aligning with just beauty, just absolute beauty. And that could be the perfect cup of coffee. It could be somebody calling with an opportunity. It could be the ability to get outside and not freeze your wahoo off. So that, take a step back. It takes having a moment, and it takes being willing to have those moments. We are so inundated with all of the messages that are flying through, and all of the chaos even of other people's energy fields, of their thought fields, of electronics, all of that. In the breath, and taking that breath and giving it a job of, in this moment, this breath will be about appreciation. It tells the whole limbic system to go, okay, we're okay here. Think of the blood pressure meds you wouldn't have to take if you just took a breath. The ability to be grateful, and as Brenda says, start to say it a prayer every morning, and she starts with what she's thankful for. It can sound hokey, but you know what? Who else knows you're doing it? Take that moment. You will feel your resonance shift. You will feel your energy rise up, and you will feel, I hope, another appreciation for this physical self that you have. And along those lines, move your buns, because it feels good to get that energy out too. So as we go into this weekend, and it's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow, people with sunshine, have an appreciation for spring, for every season. Maybe not fire season, as my California clients like to remind me they have. It's not a season I'd like to have. But for every season that comes along, or today, it's a little drizzly here, and that's fine. We had a lot of salt on our cars. We all needed car washes, so we got them. There's the appreciation of that too. So if you would do yourself a favor, and at some point this weekend, sit down with a pen and paper, pencil's fine, but some kind of writing implement, because that connects you to your body, it connects you to the earth, and it creates a grounding exercise for us to actually be in our body. So when you sit down, write down everything that you are appreciative for. If you had amazing baked goods from Tyler and Pine, because they opened this last weekend, then that goes on the list. If you, today, one of my office mates is dog sitting, and we have Teddy running around today, and he's this cute little, I think he's a Lhasa Apso or something like that, Shih Tzu, something like that. And he's just so stinking cute. Got a little bit of an underbite, but he's adorable. And that energy that his life force brings to this space will be on my list this weekend. Yes, he wanted my lunch, but I didn't share it. So go down through the list and really let your pencil or your pen fly. Get it going so that, look around the room you're in. Do you have a roof over your head? That better be on the stinking list. Like, stop being so stinking entitled that you can't come back to a place of appreciation for the fact that you were warm, or that you have a job that helped pay for the roof over said head. And then I'd really love for those of you that are in relationships, little trick thing there, because we're all in relationships. So, but those of you who are living with anyone, show appreciation for whomever it is, kids, pet, partner, yourself. That this weekend needs to be there. Let's kick off April. Oh, another A. April will be the month of appreciation. So let's kick off the month with this and actually say to the person what you appreciate about them. You don't have to do a big, long, sounds phony list, but get that out there. It feels good to say it. And then if you want to do the join with me in appreciation, list on my page what are the things that you are appreciative for today, because sometimes that can get people moving too, and sometimes that can get the get you out of the feeling of this is just weird, because we New Englanders can be a little okay, abrasive sometimes. And we can hold back, and we're not doing ourselves any favors. So let's do that. I am so appreciative for all of you, for your checking in, and for those who watch later when they have some free time. I'm really grateful that you take time out of your day and your busy lives to see what the heck is on top of my head this week. What are the sad faces about? Okay, who keeps posting the sad faces? I hope that's just a shift. Just hit the wrong one. But I'd like to know, truly. I am thankful for those who have passed. Today's an anniversary of a croakerversary, as I call it. And just everybody I've come in contact with at the store and in my life in this journey, even the challenging ones. Again, you don't have to give permission or forgive, but let's be appreciative, and hopefully that you learn something from it. So I am off. I'm always a little off, let's face it. But I am off to my next session, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.